say riders ready.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Rasan Bahati and welcome back to the channel. I am in Chicago, Illinois, and I am racing, I guess this is day number 4 of 10 days of racing. So I've missed the first 3 days of Chicago Grit, formerly known as Intelligentsia Cup. We are in one of the little suburbs called Lombard, which I remember from back in the day racing Super Week and also the earlier days of Intelligentsia. And my goal today was just to sit in and let the chips fall where they may. I wanted to just shake the legs out I flew in the day before into Indianapolis, and I drove from Naptown straight to Lombard. It was about a 3.5 hour drive, so airplane legs and car legs. I got a halfway decent warm up, maybe 25 minutes. Temperature was around 80, 85, pretty humid. But little did I know it was going to get extremely humid in the days to come. But yeah, just giving you a quick rundown of the course. I would say it's fairly simple, but turn 1 is not that simple. It's kind of off camber. It's floating downhill into a hard right-hand turn with a drainage ditch right in the middle into some uneven concrete, and then up a little riser. But still, pretty fun course. I remember doing this as a pro and racing it pretty fast. So yeah, that was just a quick lap, and you probably know by now I had one of the most freak accidents of my entire career. 20 plus years of racing. I just completely lost focus, and you can see right here from my angle that no one has seen yet onto interwebs about what happened. So rider in front of me, 416, notices the gaps are starting to open, and he gets on the gas right here, and I follow. So we go from about 23 miles an hour. I think we peaked at about 30, so I follow him, and I can replay this in my head a million times. He ends up going right. If I follow him, this situation never happens. I end up going left. Lost focus of where that planter were. Here it is right here. As I look up right here, it was too late. And I don't know. I think at the split decision, I thought I had an opportunity to go left. This is an angle that you've seen online already, and he just happened to be, I think it's Tim, just happened to be recording at this time, and just the sheer sound, yeah, it was horrible. So here I am, laying on the ground, looking at my wounds right now, thinking to myself, oh my God, I think I broke my tailbone. Everything kind of hurt in the moment, right? And yeah, but just like, oh gosh, what is going to happen right here? Did I break anything? So I start to collect myself. I start to sit up. Everything is still kind of in a lot of pain. I'm like, all right, just try to relax, figure out what's going on. And then, adrenaline and everything else is kicking in. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm okay. But I look at my bike once the ref picks it up, and I'm just like, oh no, the bike is completely trashed. And at first I thought it was just a tire off of the wheel, but no. I mean, I tried to bunny hop the curb, and I missed it. So anyway, I get to the pit. Pit took good care of me, and yeah, throw me back in, and it hurt a little bit, and just like my shoulder, my back, my wrist, it was really hurting a lot. I didn't know in the moment, but I had sealant absolutely everywhere on me. Like, I had sealant all over my legs, my shoes, and of course the camera. So I didn't realize I had sealant all over me until I was done with the race. And so I'm gonna switch from a front camera switch it over to the rear camera because it's clear, right? And the front camera is just absolutely trash right now because it's full of sealant. So I'm gonna just get back in. I'm kind of still assessing the damage. In the pit, they did a great job making sure like my frame wasn't compromised. Also, like my fork wasn't broken. Because typically that's what happens when you run into a curb before. When you run into a curb, you definitely have a lot of impact. So, yeah, man, the Cadex tire, which I'm running on the 50 Cadex wheels, took all of the brunt. And honestly, I think it saved me from a lot of damage from my bike and also from my body. So, looking back on what happened, really fortunate that it wasn't worse, and I think equipment had a lot to do with that. So I'm skipping way ahead because nothing really was happening in this race. There was a couple guys that would be off the front for a lap or two, but it was a very difficult course, in my opinion, to ride solo unless you were like one of those guys that loved to ride solo. But we didn't really have riders like that in this race. So this is the last three laps ago right here. We had a bit of a headwind, but also the course tilted down very slightly. So it was kind of like a compromise, It's like, yeah, you get a headwind, but you also get a bit of a downhill. So not too hard right here with 3 laps to go. I haven't been to the first 4 races, so there's only a few guys I know to watch. And this particular field was actually absolutely pretty small because the first series had a lot of the 50-plus riders in it, and their series ended on this day. So a lot of the 50-plus riders that you would typically see in the 40-plus race earlier, so they are not here competing at this one. But rumor on the street was that they would show up for the next event, which they did. So this is going into 2 laps to go, and right now all I'm thinking is, 1, do not wash out, right? Turn 1 could be a little dicey, so you have to get through the turns to even be able to make it to the finish. So that's always rule number 1 for me. It's like each turn, make sure you get through them safely. So we have to navigate this thing 2 more times. See those crosswalks sometimes can be very slippery, so got through there pretty safely. And right now I'm actually playing through my gears. I'm trying to figure out which gears I'm going to use for the sprint. I like to go into the biggest gear. I feel like I still have enough muscle memory and enough muscle pop to get on top of the gear, especially with a long straightaway. So this straightaway was relatively long, probably close to about 300 meters from the last corner to the finish line. And so I was just figuring out which gear I was going to ride, and I still had a little bit of PTSD going on from my crash earlier in the race. So you can see this turn is pretty sweeping, and it's a long way to the finish with a tailwind. So speeds are going to be relatively high, and I'm just looking up ahead, trying to figure out exactly who's in front of me, who are the players. And this is 1 to go, so I'm starting to work my way up. Right now I want to be a little bit closer to the front, so I just cruise along the right hand side utilizing the tailwind, because now this course, on that side, that straightaway is in my advantage. So here I am, I'm in a good spot. I slid in about 4th wheel. They're moving now. This is the last lap. They're kicking over the top of this hill, 28 miles an hour. I peaked at about 800 watts at that point, 30 miles an hour. Now 31 miles an hour. I can start to relax a little bit. I look behind to see what's going on. I know I have about 3 guys in front of me, and right now I'm just making sure, back to my rule number 1, get through the corner safely. So this turn, if you want to call it turn 3, was a bit tight, and I wanted to make sure that my front wheel was protected. And if you look behind me, you'll see Memphis Twinning rider Lee Bumgardner. He gets the early and absolutely amazing time jump, and I see it, and I peaked 1328 watts, 37 miles an hour. And so I get on top of the gear, I get in his slipstream, and then I kick again, and that's where you see the watts peak up a little bit. 41 mile an hour sprint, and I was happy with it given the circumstances. So yeah, man, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, share this with your friends. Day number 2 will be coming out very shortly. Not much happened there given the extent of my injuries. And thank you to everyone who's been reaching out and sending me positive vibes. I'm sore, but I'm still out here. Fear the Fro.